Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to combine a pedestrian puzzle game with the story from 2001 A Space Odyssey, and then mix it all up together with jam-packed excitement with something like The Good Shepherd?
So the weatherman says Sunday is a perfect day for a trip to the beach. I hope you can still dance, Edward. A couple of days we'll be doing the cha-cha in El Comandante's bedroom.
I'll try to remember to bring my dancing shoes, Richard.
Morning, Ray. Mr. Hayes.
Well, that's kind of what we're going to take a look at here today. We basically ended up with a game that's a culmination of all the three of these different things. Throw in a greedy as hell AAA publisher on top of it, and what do you end up with? The Turing Test.
2 weeks ago, we discovered an organism here. Buried in this ice, we found an organism that repairs DNA. A cure for aging. A cure for death. Immortality. It runs through our blood now. Tom wants to bury us here with it.
You'll do the right thing. I will stop
You monster! I'll kill you!
you. You have to be stopped. Ava? Ava?
The Turing Test is a first-person puzzle game from Bulkhead Interactive that takes great delight in announcing itself with a good old-fashioned Hans Zimmer bwom to remind you of how awesome they are. The game was also published, oddly enough, by Square Enix. You remember your good old pals at Squeenix, right? You know, the good old boys that brought you such recent crowd favorites as Augment Your Pre-Order.
Make your own choice and embrace what you've become. With Deus Ex Mankind Divided, augment your pre-order.
No, we're not going through that again. No. So obviously the publishers are still a bit on my naughty list for their recent shenanigans with their newest plaything, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And if you haven't seen my review on that yet, please do go check it out. Self-video plug. Anyways, the Turing Test takes place on the moon Europa, a frozen planetoid object orbiting Jupiter. Your character, Ava, has been awakened from 10 years of cryosleep by Tom, the spaceship's AI.
Morning, Ava. Your wake-up has been sanctioned by the ISA. We lost contact with the ground crew 450 hours ago. We have tried to establish further communications, but we are not getting any responses. We need you to investigate.
Okay, doesn't it make sense to do visual checks first?
We have already looked at the data. The ISA has made the executive decision that you report to the surface post-haste. You are our emergency response.
What exactly is the emergency?
The ground crew found an organism the ISA believed to be dangerous. We need to re-establish communication.
Now, it begs the question, why was Ava in cryosleep? Well, because if she wasn't, then you wouldn't have a plot, right? That's why, obviously. No, seriously, it's not really explained. Well, a lot of things in the game aren't properly explained or defined outside of it'll facilitate the game, so shut yo trap logic. Now, apparently Tom lost contact with the ground team over 400 hours. And yes, I know that when you're dealing with space, you have to be careful and plan things out, but seriously? 2 weeks had to go by before you decided, hey, we should probably rescue their asses. I thought that an AI would be smarter than that. But hell, I guess between Tom and Ava, we'll at least get to do some amazing futuristic things, right? No? Okay. Well, we're going to have an amazingly epic story exploring the human condition and everything like that, right? No? Alright, you get to move some blocks and energy balls around.
My instance has just been...
And that's pretty much it. The Turing Test is strictly a puzzle game with really nothing else of any note to the areas. Apparently the crew are fucking superhumans because they were able to create this giant maze of a logic trap that they call a Turing Test, which at first I thought was a bit far-fetched until I realized how simple all these puzzles were and realized that was because the crew was obviously strapped for time. I mean, they only had a few weeks to get everything all finished up before Tom decided to come after them. Why would they do this? Well, because Tom's a robot and they figured this would be the best way to keep him from reaching them. But why would Tom be after them, you might ask? Well, the reasons aren't the greatest in the world, and it comes down to more a philosophical debate more than anything else. Tom does try to explain why a machine could never pass the test and why he needs Ava to do it for him.
Have you heard of the Turing Test, Ava? It's a test to see if a computer can successfully impersonate a human. In the original Turing Test, a human judge has two conversations, one with a machine and one with another human. They then judge which of these polite conversations is with a machine and which is with a human. The machine being tested is said to have passed the Turing Test if the judge cannot reliably tell which conversation is with a machine and which is with a human.
Do you think you'd pass the Turing test?
I am quite capable of polite conversation. Wouldn't you say?
Now, through the course of the game, it introduces you to several different styles of puzzles, some innovative, some not, but all of them are variations on an extremely simple theme. Put the glowy orbs into the right cubes at the right times. With very little variation on a theme, it makes the game start to feel fairly repetitive and dull after a while. The puzzles aren't difficult at all, and the only times I had any issue whatsoever is in two specific sections where you have to a very limited amount of time and you have to have pinpoint fucking jump accuracy in order to get by. Other than that, the puzzles lack any semblance of skill whatsoever. The graphics are actually pretty decent, but I did have one moment when I first launched the game that the frame rate tanked to below 5 FPS and basically stayed there. I rebooted and it was fine for about another 10 minutes, then it repeated again. And then after that, on my third attempt, it did remain stale. Now, I don't know if there was something about the game or my computer, but it was definitely worth noting because I did get it to repeat at least once. Now, also, the game clocks in at a mere 5 hours, which I would normally consider an insult, but, you know, I was actually kind of glad for the brevity. The puzzles were really starting to wear on me, and I had a difficult time powering through to the end. The game was just painfully average with a rote story that gave me no surprises at all, and frankly, just wasn't able to hold my interest. Now, in the end, I rated it a very much deserved 5 out of 10. The game was dull, short, uninspired, and what is probably one of the biggest sins for a video game in my book, ultimately very forgettable. And it's sad because the developers showed that they're good designers in terms of graphics and voiceover. I just hope that with their next game we end up with something a little bit more entertaining. So this has been a look at the Turing Test, a puzzle game by Bulkhead Interactive. It is available on Steam right now for $20 or your original equivalent, and I know this review is late, guys, and I apologize for that, but please, if you've already picked up the game, feel free to let me know what you thought of the game, and if you have any questions, feel free to post any of that down in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer them. Also, don't forget to do that like, share, and subscribe kind of thing. It does tend to help my channel out a little bit, and throw me a follow on Twitter and on Facebook if you want, to be able to interact more easily with me and keep more up to date on my world and my channel on top of it. And thanks again, guys, and I will see you next time. Hi there, boys and girls. Thanks for checking my video out. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even that subscribe button. Trust me, it works really good. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if you're interested in following me on Twitter and Facebook, the links for that are in the description down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in helping to support the growth of my channel, and the link for that is down below as well. And once again, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, guys. I really appreciate it.